To the Persian king Xerxes, they were a speed bump in the way of his destiny. To the Greek city-states, they were a suicide squad. But to the world, they would become the ultimate symbol of defiance. Imagine 300 men standing in a mountain pass, looking out at a horizon filled with enough arrows to block out the sun. They knew they were going to die. They knew no help was coming, and they stayed anyway. Today, we're going beyond the capes and the CGI of Hollywood. We're looking at the blood, the betrayal, and the brutal reality of the 300 Spartans. This isn't just a battle. It's the moment Western civilization almost ended before it began. The year is 480 BCE. The Persian Empire is the greatest superpower the world has ever seen. King Xerxes has spent 4 years gathering an army so large that ancient historians claimed it took 7 days just to cross the Hellespont. His goal? Total annihilation of the Greeks to avenge his father's defeat a decade earlier. But Greece was a mess. They weren't a unified country. They were a collection of bickering city-states. When the news of the Persian tsunami arrived, many cities simply surrendered, but not Sparta. Spartans were different. From the age of 7, every male was thrown into the agoge, a brutal training system designed to break the human spirit and rebuild it into a weapon. They were taught that pain was an illusion and retreat was a death sentence to one's honor. When the oracle at Delphi told King Leonidas that Sparta would either be destroyed or lose a king, he didn't blink. He gathered 300 men, only those who already had sons to carry on their names, and marched toward the Hot Gates. Leonidas didn't choose Thermopylae by accident. He was a master of the funnel. Thermopylae, the Hot Gates, was a narrow pass between the mountains and the sea. In some places, it was only wide enough for a single wagon to pass. Here, Xerxes' numbers were a handicap. His massive cavalry couldn't charge and his archers couldn't see their targets. The Spartans brought a secret weapon, the phalanx. Imagine a wall of bronze shields, overlapping like the scales of a dragon. Out of this wall poked 8-foot spears. It was a human tank. When the first wave of Persians hit the Spartan line, it wasn't a fight. It was a car crash. The Persians, wearing light wicker shields and linen armor, were literally shredded by the heavy Greek bronze. Xerxes sat on a golden throne on a nearby hill, watching in disbelief as his superior forces were tossed into the sea. For 2 days, the Greeks held. They even used a feigned retreat, pretending to run away in fear, only to whip around and butcher the Persians as they broke formation to chase them. By the end of day 2, Xerxes was desperate. He sent in his immortals, 10,000 of his finest warriors, named because whenever one died, another immediately took his place. But even the immortals died at the Hot Gates. Then the nightmare arrived. A local Greek named Ephialtes, hoping for Persian gold, revealed a secret mountain path called the Anapaya Path. It allowed the Persians to bypass the gates and come out directly behind the Greek line. When Leonidas heard the news, he knew the game was up. In a move that historians still debate today, he dismissed the majority of the Greek army, nearly 6,000 men, telling them to go home and defend their cities. He stayed behind with his 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and 400 Thebans. Why stay? Some say it was the prophecy. Others say it was to buy time for the rest of Greece to evacuate. But for a Spartan, the answer was simpler. It was the law. A Spartan never retreated. He either won or he stayed in the soil. On the third morning, Leonidas looked at his men and gave the most famous order in military history. "Have a hearty breakfast, for tonight we dine in Hades." They didn't wait to be surrounded. They charged out into the widest part of the pass to do as much damage as possible. It was a frenzy of violence. When their spears broke, they used swords. When their swords shattered, they fought with rocks, shield rims, and their bare hands. Leonidas fell early in the fight. What followed was a primal struggle for his body. The Spartans pushed the Persians back 4 times just to keep their king's corpse from being defiled. Eventually, the remaining Greeks retreated to a small hill. The Persians were so terrified of the remaining Spartans that they refused to engage in hand-to-hand combat anymore. Instead, they surrounded the hill and rained down thousands of arrows until not a single Greek was left standing. Xerxes won the pass, but he had lost his aura of invincibility. He had lost 20,000 men and 2 of his own brothers to a force of just a few hundred. In a fit of rage, he broke all Persian customs and had Leonidas's head cut off and impaled. It was the act of a man who knew he had been humiliated. The 300 died, but their story flew across Greece like a wildfire. It shamed the bickering cities into uniting. A few weeks later, the Greek navy crushed the Persians at Salamis. A year later, a massive Greek army, the largest ever assembled, finished the job at the Battle of Plataea. Leonidas didn't just save a pass, he saved the future. If the 300 hadn't stayed, there might be no democracy, no Socrates, and no Western world as we know it. They are still there, in a way. If you go to Thermopylae today, you'll find a simple stone with an inscription that still echoes through time. "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." So, was it worth it? Or was it a waste of Sparta's best men? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want to see how this stacks up against our video on Genghis Khan, click the link on the screen right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the legends of history.